Today's episode is brought to you by the Lost Lake Creamery, old-fashioned ice cream parlor. Oh, the kids are back in school, which means ice cream season is coming to an end here in Minnesota. Get over to the Lost Lake Creamery, located just off the Dakota Trail, or on the Lost Lake Channel on the north end of Cooks Bay on Lake Minnetonka. Lost Lake Creamery has 24 flavors of hard-scooped ice cream. Just remember, ice cream fixes everything. The Lost Lake Creamery, 5575 Shoreline Drive, Mound, Minnesota. Open till the end of September. Stop in and see him. Tell him you heard it on the project.
Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to tell you about this podcast. It's called the DK Project, but it's really the Darren Show. So thanks for tuning in. You're going to want to sit back, buckle up, and enjoy the ride.
Let's go! And we're back. Finally. Lighten it back up. Boy, we were on a little bit of a break there.
Jeez, a long one.
Shumsbotchies got to travel, which, gets me into trouble sometimes. But what are you going to do?
A little break.
Had a great time with the lads and the ladies. We were over, oh my gosh, world tour. It's hard to say, but I actually think I was on vacation too long.
Really?
If that's even possible.
It is possible.
But you know what? Here's the thing. We started off like 2 weeks ago, and we said the goodbyes to the kid because he was leaving for college.
Yep.
That was a tough day.
I bet. I went through it.
It's
It's not easy.
You know, the hard part about the whole thing is that he's a really emotional kid. So we really, oof, man, it was an ugly time frame. I'm almost glad I was out of town because I didn't have to do the actual delivery.
Oh, was mom just torn up?
You know what? I think she was just so done. She's like, let's just be done. Like, she knew I need to get away from this kid because he's having a tough time with it and being very emotional. And it was time. He was ready. And now he's rocking and rolling. He's really fitting in and everything's going really well. So I think we got a good fit. I'm really glad we actually switch schools.
Yeah.
Because this is really a better fit. It's more personalized, catered to him, smaller, But boy, I tell you, what a day. I got all tore up. I was all emotional. I'm like, I got to go. I can't, no way. And then, and it was crazy. I don't even want to get into it. But so then I'm on the other side of the pond and this stupid time delay it was just lethal. We were 7 hours. What were we? 7 hours ahead for most of the journey. And then once I got to Dublin, we were only 6 hours. So that was nice. But when I was in
That
Spain,
extra hour made a huge difference.
Oh my God. When I was in Spain, the time difference was 9 hours between me and Cole. So I would actually get up at 6 a.m. so I could catch him at night before he went to bed.
Right.
That was my best bet. But it was so weird. It's very hard to conduct business when you're on such an odd time change, which I looked and actually, if I would have been in Shanghai, that's like 12 hours ahead. You're almost starting another day. It's not cool at all. Hold on a second.
You just went and looked and said, how could I make this worse for myself?
Well, no, somebody I was with is like, well, Shanghai is 6 hours ahead of here. I'm like, well, there's information you don't need. But anyway, so we flew over, stopped in Amsterdam, and then I headed into Barcelona, Spain, which, oh man, it was 90, hotter than hell. It's a different world over there. Because, like when you go to Mexico, they speak Spanish, but they at least try to speak English.
Right.
Where when you're in Spain, they're like, no, we speak Spanish here. And that's it.
Yeah.
But
how were the Spaniards?
I don't know. They were all right. The problem is that it's kind of a culture shock. And the jet lag, I've never had jet lag like that, like nuked, like done, because you're just off. And it takes a day to recover. And then God, and all we did was walk and walk and walk and shop and walk.
And eat.
I'm not used to that. I'm a beach vacation guy, not a city vacation guy.
Right.
But it was cool. We saw some stuff, some great art, some great history. Everything there is older than shit. It's just old. Like 1700s. Like, come on. But they had some crazy artist stuff there that I posted some pictures. It was nuts. But we spent 3 days in Barcelona. And it was funny because in Barcelona they have these narrow streets,
right?
And and then they have the wider streets that have actually a center median. And in the median, restaurants will have like additional seating set up and stuff, so you can be there and they'll walk the food across the street to you.
So you just sit in the middle of the road and eat.
Technically, yes. Okay. But then we went to this one place for dessert. I think it was almost our first night there. And this dude comes over and he's got a piece of paper, like a handwritten sign. And he's waving it and setting it on the table because there's some homeless people there. Not bad. They say the biggest problem there is pickpockets. You got to watch out for pickpockets. I'm like, what is this, 1970? Like, who picks a pocket anymore? That's dumb. But evidently the punishment for actual crime is much more severe than just theft.
Right.
So anyway, the daughter and I are eating this monster sundae, which, I went off the rails. No diet at all on the trip. No way. And I gained pounds, man. Holy shit. The LBs are hot. But this dude comes up with a sign and he's sitting there and it said something on it. And my daughter's like, I can't read it. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Go. What are you doing? Get away from me. I don't, at my table in the middle of the street.
Oh, and not a waiter, but just some random
some homeless bum. And so then he waves the form down, puts the paper down.
I'm sure he's
again.
a nice guy. He's just down on his luck.
Shut up, dude. Don't take their side. And so then I grab the, he flips the paper down again, and she's like, I can't read it. I'm like, listen, bud, move along. I said, this is not, one more time.
Meanwhile, you're trying to say it in English, and he only speaks Spanish.
Yeah, well, how do you say underlay, bummo? So he flips the paper down one more time, and then I stand up, and he sees the massive beast that I had on the chair.
You flex?
And no, I didn't get to that point.
Okay.
But I'm like, move along. And that he understood once I stood up. But then I thought about it. He was trying to cuff my phone. My phone was on the table, and he kept flashing the paper over it.
Over your phone?
Yes. They say that's a big crime there. They steal phones. Don't leave them on the table. We were at one restaurant that was like really high-end restaurant. Like I paid, I don't know, $23 for paella, that high-end of restaurant. And we're sitting on the outside patio next to the hedge. And the guy goes, don't set your phone on that side of the table. They'll reach through the hedge and grab it. I'm like, what the fuck? Where am I? What is this? Like, really? Like...
Just walking around trying to.
So what I should have done was just hung a couple 20 euros over the side just to see and then stab him with my fork. But I didn't. Didn't. But so anyway, the other odd thing that happened to me after this phone thing, because I was freaked out a little bit. I'm like, so I shut my phone off for the rest of the night because I'm like, can they just wave something over your phone and steal all your shit? Because today's technology, they can. So anyway, then we do 3 days in Barcelona, and like the third day we're out walking at night. And at night it kind of gets carnival-esque in these center medians with the guys selling shit and peddling this, peddling that. And I literally 2 times it happened to me where I was sitting there and we're walking down the street, and this guy comes up to me and he goes, "Coke, weed, what do you need? What do you need?" And I'm like, oh my God, dude! I'm so glad you asked. Really, because I want to buy that kind of stuff from
because I need some coke and weed from some
just out of nowhere. And I'm like,
in Barcelona.
What I should have done was stop them and went, so how many people actually take you up on this? Like, seriously, dude? Come on. But yeah, it was beautiful. And then we took a train over to Madrid. Madrid is really old, but Madrid is like high-end Barcelona. Barcelona's really nice, but Madrid is like really, really nice. I didn't see a cloud for 3 days.
Oh, really?
90 degrees, hotter than hell. So here's the oddity about Madrid. We took the tour. I took a tuk-tuk. Tuk-tuk is like a golf cart with one wheel in the front. So we take this tour, and they're telling me they got this super duper, like their, probably like Federal Reserve or whatever, their main bank.
Yeah.
So their main bank is there, and the security system for their main bank is, take a guess.
AR-15s.
Well, no, no, That's just common walking around the streets. Okay. That's not that. Actually, speaking of which, I ended up in Dublin, and in Dublin, the cops don't carry guns.
What?
They have like a cop gun team, like when they need to call in the artillery, but otherwise their cops don't carry guns. How weird is that? But no, this bank in Madrid, in the event of a problem, she seals up and fills with water. Not even kidding.
What?
Big fountains in the street, like big fountains, like art and everything. They drain, and all that water goes into this bank.
Drowns
fills it.
Everybody in the joint.
Yes, everyone dies.
No matter what.
You can't have our money. We'll get you. I was blown away. I'm like, are you serious, dude? He goes, yeah. And evidently they've had to use it. Not like they've tested it. And there might be something on YouTube or something. I don't know. But yeah, crazy stuff.
So even if you're in there just cashing in your pennies,
yeah,
you're
I
dead.
hope you can swim. A lot of guys go to that bank wearing scuba gear. Just in case the shit goes down, right?
I would imagine.
Hey, Scuba Steve, here to make a withdrawal. Blah, 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 blah. Yep, blah, blah. I'd like to get some of my money out, please.
Just sitting down in the chair with the scuba gear, waiting for the water to go away.
Do you wear the flippers or do you not wear the flippers?
No.
The flippers are in the car. Hold on.
Oh, that's
true.
awesome.
That is true. But yeah, we saw a lot of art.
Dedication.
Saw a lot of whatever. They had stores in Barcelona and Madrid like Gucci and Prada and Louis Vuitton where they escort you in. Like you can't just walk in. So the daughter and I go to Louis Vuitton. Or we're going to call it Louis Vuitton.
Mm-hmm.
And we roll in there and I got, so fucking Delta lost my bags.
No, they did not.
Yeah, I went 2 days. It was funny because we're at the airport in Minneapolis and the lady goes, now you have your medication, right? Because when you check the bag, you don't want to be without your medication. I'm like, oh, come on. So I grabbed my medication thinking, whatever. Sure as shit, they lost my bag. Like, come on, Delta.
Where'd they send it? Singapore?
No, our flight was delayed getting into Amsterdam, and they just didn't have time to switch it. So it was in Amsterdam. It wasn't far. And then it made it to Barcelona that same day. They just trying to tell the stupid guy with the bag to drop it off at the hotel was the problem. They dropped my daughter's bag off a day before mine, and mine was on the same truck. They just couldn't get to the guy to go, hey, drop that one off too, dummy.
Right, so you're rolling.
Stupid.
What did you have to inside out your undies or what?
Oh man, I washed undies in the sink, and everybody's like, oh well, just go to Delta will reimburse you. That's their thing. We'll reimburse you for anything you have to buy. So I'm like, well, I'll go buy some stuff, So everything we were buying, we're like, hey, thanks Delta, but I'm going to buy clothes, and those little European bastards, you know what?
What?
They don't wear this size. There's nobody this big in Europe. So I'm looking. I can't find a shirt that fits. I finally find a T-shirt place, and he goes, "You're probably about a 4X." I'm like, no, I'm really a large, but I'll wear a 2X on occasion.
Right.
And sure as shit, I had to get a 4X.
So the sizes are jacked up too.
Well, that's just stupid. So I bought one T-shirt on Delta, which I'm like, I'm not even gonna do the paperwork. It's not worth $10. Who gives a crap? But I talked to my buddy who I was there for business with, and he was on a British Airways flight, and they lost his luggage, and he's like got to wear suits and stuff. He said he dropped like 7 large, buying suits and everything, and shoes and belts. He's like, I have to wear this to present. If I don't have my, I can't wear T-shirts.
Right.
So, and they ended up paying it. But so anyway, it was ugly. But the reason why I bring this up is I'm rocking a DK Project T-shirt.
Correct.
And I got probably 3 strong days on it. I'm not talking about, because we're talking 90-degree heat.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go into Louis.
You have like flies around you, like stinky or
Like
whatever.
Linus?
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was Schleprock.
Whoever
it was.
Schleprock?
Well, who was on the Peanuts?
That's Linus.
No.
With the blanket?
No, with this flies around him. The dude that was stinky.
Schleprock.
I don't know. Whatever.
That sounds like we might have made that up.
Nope.
Hey, so I go into Louis Vuitton,
Yeah.
with my 3-day DK Project t-shirt on.
I'm sure they were impressed.
And they realized right away that I might not be a buyer. I might just be a looker.
Right.
So we roll in there, and the daughters and they like escorts. So if you want to look at something that's displayed, they got white gloves on, Mm-hmm. So I didn't realize that, and my gal right away, my salesperson right away realized that we weren't buying. So she goes and just takes us and says, go look, and if you see something, let me know. So I go over and I start flipping latches and opening purses and stuff. And the lady comes flying over. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Did you want to look at that? I'm like, no, I'm good. I already got it. I'm in, because I'm messing with the latch, and my daughter's like, don't break it. I'm like, no, it should open. But yeah, so we didn't get escorted out, but we didn't get the same sales help that everyone else did.
The same treatment as a real buyer.
Yeah, so I'm going to go back there and buy the whole store next time.
So you can't window shop.
Sons of bitches. No. Well, you can, but not in the big 5. There's probably 5 that are like high end. But they
didn't have a Target for you?
Not a Target. No, I didn't see any of that kind of big chain, but we didn't really go out into the burbs. We stuck right into the old hood.
Right.
But yeah, so anyway, we did the whole thing, and Madrid was beautiful. Then we took a flight to Dublin, and Dublin's a little bit darker, dirtier, but cool, man. Pubs in Ireland are cool. I'm not gonna lie. Celtic, yeah. Where they speak Gaelic.
Yeah.
I got my wife a little sweater that's Gaelic. And it
well, let's keep the show clean.
Hey now, gay who? But they so we toured the Guinness factory in Dublin. That's the big draw.
That is awesome.
So I'm $50 into getting the daughter and I in there, and it wasn't the factory. It was like a museum, the history of Guinness, where I'm like, I want to see guys making beer. But they did have a couple of cool stops where you could take pictures of yourself in like old Guinness commercial stuff, like the one with the goose with the bottle in its neck, and the one with the big beam where you're
kind of like we do with the Western pictures, but they do the Guinness pictures.
Yeah, everything's Guinness there. But people in Ireland drink Guinness. It's not a cliche. It's real.
Do they drink it warm?
No.
It's cold.
Right. But we did the tour, and on one of the stops of the tour, they actually will take a photo of you, and they'll put that in the top of the foam on the beer. It was an extra like $6.
Did you buy it?
No. I'm like, that's dumb.
You're shopping at Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton.
Sorry, I screwed up. Louis Vuitton.
You know I can't stop at Louis Vuitton. I went to Louis Vuitton.
Okay.
2 V's on Vuitton.
So you're shopping at the Big 5, and you won't spend the $6 for the picture and the froth.
I don't drink.
I know, but it's a picture in foam at the Guinness joint.
Moving on. I'm sure it'll be everywhere here soon. I'm sure it's technology that's coming. It seems like there were people waiting in line. I'm like, yeah, I don't wait in line for that kind of thing. So then we went to the next floor, and on the next floor, you could learn how to pour a Guinness, because there's an art to pouring a Guinness.
I've seen that on Bar Rescue.
Of course you have. So then we go to the top floor, 7th floor, all glass. Get my pint. Been on the wagon for 4 and some change, and I'm like, I'm having a beer.
Yeah. So
I get myself a Guinness. I got like a quarter of it down. I'm like, I just number one, it's like 11 o'clock in the morning, and I'm with my daughter. I'm like, I could have gone all the way. I don't know if I could have. I don't know.
Did you not?
It's just like,
Guinness is the best.
It is the best. But then on my tour of this whole deal, I tried a Guinness twice. Mm-hmm. I tried a cider. And I went to the old vodka sour because, hey,
hey, no.
go to the one that brought you. But no, I didn't. No, I'm not a drinker. I'm not going to be a drinker again.
So you just couldn't do it?
No, almost like a headache right away. I'm like, no, because I stopped drinking because of medical reasons, and I can drink. I choose not to, and I just I have too much fun sober. I don't need to bring on headaches and more shit. I mean, I'll keep trying. Don't get me wrong. But
I'm not going to give up.
so I ran back to Barcelona and went to the weed coke guy. No, no.
Hey, this Guinness.
You know
thing
what's
didn't
funny
work
though
out.
is I've told that weed coke thing to a couple people, and 2 people out of, I don't know, 20 people that I've told, both of them said, "Did they have any goats?" Is that
What's
a thing?
Goat.
Is that a thing? Like a goat?
Like a goat's a drug?
No, I think it's like an animal.
Like they're selling weed and coke with a goat? It's
Yeah,
like
I
their
don't know.
partner?
I don't know.
It's
I'm
like their partner?
2 people said that. I'm like, I don't know. A goat? Come on.
No.
But anyway, so yeah, beautiful. Tried the Guinness, and I took a picture that I left 3/4 of it sit there because whatever. A $48 beer, you think you'd finish it, but I didn't. But then we went.
So you take the whole trip.
The what?
That's hilarious. You take the whole bill
Yeah.
for the whole thing and you put it on top and you say this beer cost me $48.
Basically.
Nothing else. None of the rest of it.
It was a museum.
mattered.
It was a museum with the world's biggest Guinness gift shop. Really?
Well, that's what they do.
They
That's
get
how
you. They
that's
get
exactly
you, those
right.
fuckers. Those fuckers. You know what I did, though?
What?
Is if you've ever been to Europe and you go to take a piss, every urinal's different.
Can you piss on the street in Europe?
No, but I'm sure they do.
No, do they have like
That's San
urinals
Francisco.
that are just right on
No,
the
San
street?
Francisco's shit and Europe is pee. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
not that I saw.
I'm telling you,
Those are storm drains, dude.
No, one of those joints has just piers. You just walk up to.
No,
right
but
out, no open.
I went through and I took pictures. I'm going to put together, it's going to be right there on the wall of all
Pictures
the
of
urinals.
what?
You know when you go to places and they have like, the outhouses of Kentucky, you know?
Well, yeah.
Well, I'm going to do the urinals of Europe.
Well, I can't wait to see it.
Oh my God, it's going to be
It's going to be
It's going to be a
epic.
piece, yeah.
This is an art.
You know what? I might get one made for you.
This
too.
is an art thing.
Something you can have at home.
Could we put it on a T-shirt?
Oh, yes. Yes,
There
like
you
on the
go.
back, like all the different ones.
Yes.
I peed here.
Yes.
Hell, I like where your head's at, soldier.
I know it.
You know what? I do have new merch coming, by the way. My stupid T-shirt lady shat the bed before I left town, so she's out, fired. But
No. Give her another chance.
hell's no, that was her second chance.
Oh, don't do it then.
Because you try one of my sweatshirts on. Yeah, you can't because they're micro. You know what? They're European. They're European sizes.
She's European.
You know what I'm pissed about? Because I was
What?
in Dublin and we walked to this pub where we had some bangers and mash. You know what I passed? Ballsbridge Mercedes. How cool would a Ballsbridge Mercedes T-shirt be?
That
I
would
still
be
might order
awesome.
one. I don't know, but so anyway, wrapped her up in Dublin, and we went to I went to drop the daughter off at the airport, and then I got picked up for my week of voiceover retreat, and holy cats! You think about top shelf, and then you go 2 shelves higher. It was awesome. We
Breaking news on the DK Project.
This just in. Studies have shown smoking is bad for your health, could cause lung disease, cancer, who knows what else. I think everybody in the world knows this except for the people in Europe. Get it together, Europe. You don't need to smoke on every corner and everywhere you go. It's a filthy, stinky habit. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by the DK Project. So anyway, we did. I went to this retreat, right, and it's in this old Irish castle, and I'm telling you, from my suite to the pool was probably a mile,
No.
and it was in the castle the whole time. It was ridiculous.
Just huge.
It was the coolest place ever. It was so and these people so here's a good, for instance, this is a great example. I'm sitting there and I'm having whatever because they had food everywhere. That's why I'm as big as a house right now. But they had food everywhere. And I went to my guy, the guy who hosts the thing, and I said, listen, This place is awesome, but the one problem they have is they don't have a lot of garbage cans. And you know what he said?
No.
This is the kind of place where they throw stuff away for you.
Oh.
So, of course, I took full advantage of that. But I met some great people, had a great time. And this one coach who was just amazing. Like, I had this one class that was just awesome. And he goes, hey, I'm thinking about going to the Cliffs of Moher and Galloway Village if anybody wants to go. I'm like, fuck, I'm down, baby.
I'm in.
So nobody else signed up. So I had a full day with this coach. And we had our own, like, limo driver. And spent the whole day touring Ireland. It was amazing. We went to a big old castle and toured a castle. It was called Bonroddy Castle, where you enjoyed a pint across the street. Oh God!
Is that when you did the whiskey sour?
No.
Or the vodka sour?
No. That was back in Dublin.
Oh,
that was back in the at the ranch. Oh my God! I forgot a couple things.
what?
Son of a bitch. There was this. So in Barcelona, in 1992, they had the Olympics in Barcelona.
They did.
So I went and I toured the Olympic Village. Very sad. Like, pristine, well-maintained, could still hold the events there today. But there's nothing. There's nobody around. A few tourists walking around. I think they had swimming lessons going on in the pool where Michael Phelps won the gold. That's it. Nothing.
So they do all this, and then it's just not useful.
Nothing.
They don't even play kickball in the stadium or nothing.
I didn't even think I saw a kickball field. I couldn't tour the whole thing. I mean, it was massive. It's a whole city. It was ridiculous. But it was like walking around there, you're like, you could just feel the energy of the Olympics, but yet you're like, so quiet. Like there's nothing. It was really strange. And then you go around the corner and you go up the hill and you hop on a cable car, or not a cable car. What are they, gondola or whatever?
Yeah, gondola.
From the ceiling?
Yeah.
Or from the cable?
From the ceiling.
So I hop on that bad boy, which I'm afraid of heights, but you know what? I manned up. I'm like, I'm not going to.
You hopped on
I'm not going to let him see me sweat.
You got on it.
Hell yeah.
Nice job.
Hell yeah. And I got a window seat.
Love it.
And so you get on the gondola from the Olympic Village. What is it called? Cable car.
Gondola. It took you up the hill.
Gondola. No, we went down. We were up high. We're going down.
Yeah, it could be a cable car, could be a gondola. I don't know.
For the sake of this podcast, we're going to call it a gondola. No, gondola is what they paddle in the creek. This is a box that's hanging from cables.
A gondola.
Okay, gondola it is.
Okay, but if I'm wrong,
how dumb are we?
Pretty stupid.
Gondola. Take me over to Louis Fontaines. So we hop in the gondola, and it takes you to the beach.
Gondola.
Takes you to the beach. So I'm leaving the Olympic Village. 10 minutes later, I'm on the beach.
Wait a minute. Is the gondola what they take you like when you're in Venice?
Yes, that's the water. They're in gondolas, yeah.
Well, what's the other thing called? I think the other thing's a gondola, too.
Could be a double gondola situation.
Could be.
Well, that's a Google that shit.
So now you went from the hill to the beach.
So I'm on the beach, right?
Yep.
We get on the beach. It's hotter than a motherfucker. Like, woof.
Like 100 degrees.
No, probably 90, 95.
That's still pretty hot for a big guy.
And my daughter did say, I think you're the biggest guy in Europe. I'm like, fuck, really? So we get to the beach and we're walking the beach, and I'm aware of beaches in Europe. The daughter's not. And she looks over, the guy's got his big Schwanstucker hanging out. And she goes, do they have to wear swimsuits here? I'm like, maybe.
It's
maybe
optional.
not. I don't know. She goes, because there's a guy over there who has nothing on. I'm like, ugh. Yeah, that's the downside. But you know what? It was just a blend. Topless, that was the only bottom feeder I saw. The only anteater out. But there were topless, which it is whatever. Roll with it. But super hot. But they had the boardwalk and the whole deal. It was really cool. But they have a W hotel there that looks like that rounded one in Dubai. That.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had that there. And I'm like, let's just switch. Let's go. I want to be on the beach. but we're like, I didn't have my bag, so I can't make a hotel change because then I'll never get my bag.
Right.
So we stayed in the boutique hotel in the city.
Next time, stay at the beach. Always stay at the beach.
Totally going
Always
to the beach.
stay
I let
at
a
the
travel
beach.
agent do everything.
No, don't do that.
But we didn't have a pool the whole time. We didn't have a hot tub. My feet were swelling. My blisters had blisters. But so anyway, I got sidetracked there. But so then we went on to see the castle, and then we went to the Cliffs of Moher, which when you think of quintessential Ireland,
Yeah.
Cliffs of Moher, baby. Woo, 700 feet in the air, cliff, straight down to the water. And the wind is like the wind could blow your phone out of your howl. Yeah. It's going to go, yeah. Serious wind. So we did that, and then I went and had my first plate of fish and chips across from this golf course. This golf course was called, what the hell was it called?
Turnberry.
No, it wasn't that level, but it was, God, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like they only allow two people to have carts on this course. Because it was so like hardcore hill. It looked like an extreme mini golf course. You know how they have them up the side of a hill?
Yeah.
When you go to these? It was like that, but it was real golf. It was crazy. The undulate in that. Oh my God! It was.
Did you want to take a shot at it?
Yeah, no, not if I got to walk. Come on.
What do you mean they only let two
I
people?
think you know better than that.
What do you mean they only let two people?
La Hinch Golf Course. They say they only allow two. They call them buggies, golf buggies. They only allow two golf buggies on that course at a time. But so we stopped and ate fish and chips across from La Hinch.
Was that fabulous?
Oh my God, it was really good. And the guy I was with is like, "This is really good fish and chips."
Was it like really good, or was it just the fact that you were in Ireland that made it really
I'm sure
good?
it didn't hurt.
Yeah.
I'm sure it didn't hurt. Also, cool urinal at that place, huh? Pissed that up. But the door to get in. Like, they don't plan on huge people like me getting in, and I'm not that big.
No, not
But
that
the
big.
door is, they were probably running,
I mean, big.
probably,
Like, not
that's what I should have done.
Not like Andre
was
the
went
Giant.
to Louis
big.
Vuitton and gone, "Hey, you got anything that'll fit me? Because I'm here to buy."
Right.
More purses than in man purses. But the other problem you run into is they could smoke there.
In the like
Everywhere.
place,
They
like
smoke
anywhere.
everywhere. No, they don't really smoke indoors, but they smoke. And
Okay.
it's like, come on, people, get the memo. There's been some stuff done, some research. Ridiculous.
There's been a little research on the subject.
It was Hey, speaking of which, I'm in a plane from Madrid to Dublin.
Yeah.
It's like an hour and a half flight. And I don't know if you've ever been in this position or not, but it's like an hour and a half flight. And 2 rows ahead of me, there's a couple, and they're like going at it, like really serious, like to where you're like, come on, like really?
Like, do you think do they got a blanket over them?
No, just like making out at an extreme level. And they weren't the aged people that make out. Like, when was the last time you went with your wife and just made out somewhere like hardcore? I mean, I did on Wednesday with my
20
wife,
years
but I'm
ago?
different. Yeah, see, it doesn't happen.
No.
And these two are on a plane in the middle of everybody, and there's. I'm just like, you almost want to say something. Like,
How old were they? Like 80s?
no. They're probably 30s, 40s, old enough to know better.
Maybe they just
Come
were
on.
like
Maybe they
newly
just got
married.
engaged.
Yeah,
Maybe as a
or
part of the
newly
engagement
married or
process.
something.
Way to put a positive spin on a real negative issue, Dave.
Did they sneak off to the bathroom?
No. And I don't know if you've flown lately, but there's no way anything's happening in those bathrooms. Like, a guy my size could even break bread in there. There's no way. If
You
I'd have
could
to go
work it
outside,
in.
I'd have to go outside to wipe my ass. Like, there's no way I'm freaking making the corner in there at all. There's no way.
It'd have to be hard. You'd have to get your foot up on top of the.
The one hotel we stayed at the end, they had falconing. Falconing?
Yeah.
You could falcon. I didn't have time to falcon, but people were falconing. And I'm like,
Just
"Boy,
run on a falcon.
yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Falcon. They had fishing where they take you out into the stream, cast it out for you if you can't cast, and then they'll reel it in for you.
Well, what kind of fishing is that? So they have.
What are you doing?
They have
You're just paying.
watching fishing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a sport. Tonight on Watching Fishing, we'll be looking at some trout. It was seriously, I'm like, oh wow. And hey, here's the thing. So we walked. The daughter was there for a week, and we tracked it with our phones. So somewhat accurate, not really accurate. And we put on about 50 plus miles in a week on the hoofs.
On the feet.
I went one day, I walked 5 miles in flip-flops. My calves locked up for
That's a hardcore
a
mistake.
half day. But the hotels we were at didn't have a hot tub. And we finally get to this hotel in Barcelona. Or no, in Dublin, which was actually used to be a Four Seasons.
Okay.
Now it's Intercontinental. And we go get the deal on. We head down to the hot tub. Fucking broken.
The hot tub is out of order?
Order. So,
What kind of joints are you staying at,
this was a
man?
really nice place.
Stay on the beach.
Go to the beach, man. You got to go to the beach where the wieners are out. You got to go to Wienerville. Yeah.
That is the downfall with the anteaters out hanging around. That is the downfall.
Yeah. Well, luckily I didn't see anything. I don't know nothing. But it was a great trip, man. I had such a blast. It was such fun. If anybody's listening and they can get the opportunity to take one of their kids on a trip like this, it was amazing. We had such a fun time, but it was so hard because we had just left Cole, who's going away to college, and then I'm out, and it's not like, oh, I'll hop a plane and be home in a couple hours. It's like it takes a full day to get home.
Right.
So if anything were to happen, I'm like, oh my God, it's major. Well, then he's like, hey, you got to pay this, you got to do this, we need that, you got to, So it was crazy, but we had a good time. If anybody has the opportunity to do such a thing, and it doesn't even have to be Europe, you can go anywhere, but man, I tell you, that is time that I won't forget. It was amazing. We had
That's
so
awesome.
much fun. She had a blast, and it might become an annual thing, but is it annual? Yeah. And but I don't know that we'll go back there. And I wouldn't split it up like that. We 3 days here, 2 days there, 2 days there. It's too much dinking around.
Just go to the beach and stay there.
Yeah. Boom, on the beach.
This traveling thing from a faraway place is a pain in the ass.
Oh.
I have a friend that had an exchange student come, and it was from Brazil.
Brazil.
And it took that poor girl.
Speaking of topless beaches.
It took that poor girl almost 24 hours just to get here. Flying around Brazil to get to where you can get to the United States.
To fix the jet lag. At least 2 days.
Well, since Brazil's south of us,
are they
it's
straight
only
south?
a couple hours either way.
Shut up, Dick.
So, I mean, I wouldn't.
Listen, gondola boy.
You need to get a globe up in here. It's a.
Hey, Gandhi.
What the hell is it? But that's a hard thing to travel so far.
Oh, big time. I don't, and if you're going to Shanghai.
Yes, if you're in Shanghai.
Look out, baby. Hey, speaking of which, I got home and I had to go to court again.
What are you doing with all this court stuff? Is it the same one or a new one?
It's the life of a slumlord, baby.
Wow.
No, this is a person who owes me a lot of money, so I filed and whatever. So I go to court, and there's a non-English speaking Mexican dude there, and he's got a translator. And then the non-English speaking Mexican gal that he's there to go court over shows up. They go out in the hall, blah, 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 blah. They got to go first because he's got to get to work, and he's running late. So they go first. There's a translator in the middle. Back, blah, 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 You get stuck, she gets stuck, blah, blah. They're there over $100.
What?
He rented a room from her and had a $100 deposit. She won't give him back the $100 deposit. The filing fee to go to court is $75.
So this is a $25
Well, no,
court
because
thing.
if he wins, it's $175 because she'll have to pay his court costs. But I'm thinking, you got a translator, which is probably on our dime. You're taking the judge's time, which I know is on our dime. Over $100?
That is a bit.
I don't want to sound like a pig, but I almost peeled off 2 hundies and said, just go. Here, each have one. Go. Like $100? It cost me $6 to park.
No, see, I don't think that's a pig thing at all. That's
$100.
I probably would have just peeled off 200 and just done it.
Yeah, it's like
I would have just done
get
it.
Back. Don't lose your job. You're gonna lose your job over chasing $100 bill. I don't know. There's more to that story than we'll ever know. But it'd be nice if you went to court. And since I got to sit through all this shit before my case is called, why don't you send me the results of those cases too? Because I know how I decided. I know who won in my head. But let's hear what the judge said. Give us the final answer.
So there's no answer on it.
Well, I'll get mine, but I won't know what happened to theirs. They don't share the results for everybody's. But I was just like, come on. But yeah, I'm getting my routine down. I know where to park. I know where to go. I know where the good bathroom is.
You know where the nachos
bada bing,
are.
Bada bang. I know where. Yeah, this was early though. This was an 8:15 call.
They didn't have nachos ready yet.
Wow, I wasn't ready. Although you know what, I did find the holy grail of nachos. Because really, when I came back from my trip, the one thing I'm like, I got to have some nachos. I got to have some nachos. So we made a weak attempt at nachos at a place in Excelsior, and it wasn't, wasn't great. Blah, whatever. But then later on, the next day, we're like, hey, let's just stop into the Lago Taco.
Yeah.
For, some chips and queso. We're not going to eat till later.
Lago Tacos
and
makes
this couple next to me had
tacos.
Monster nachos. I'm like, can we, honey? Can we, honey? So she let me get the nachos.
Yeah?
Game changer. Best nachos I've ever had, believe me.
At Lagos in Excelsior.
I've done some nachos. And this was, I had meat and potato nacho. Queso cheese. It comes with extra queso. I didn't even get into the extra queso. But here's the thing. This is the part that threw me off a little bit. The couple that was there next to me who had the nacho, they took a to-go box with leftover nacho. And not just the chips and all the crap. They're like scraping the cheese out of the plate into their to-go box. I'm like, that's got to just be a pile of sludge in an hour. Like,
yeah, the chips get all soft and shit.
So I'm like, why would you do that? And then I thought about it. I'm like, they probably heat the whole thing up and put it on fresh chips. Because those chips will get to where they're just like another accoutrement to the whole thing. So now I'm thinking, maybe sometime I should not eat the whole plate to where I could take some home.
And then retry it. Put it on Doritos.
That's just crazy. Who takes nachos home?
Not me.
This guy was drinking coffee with his nachos, so I knew there was a problem.
There's a problem right there.
I knew right away. I'm like, dude, you drinking coffee?
Coffee with your nachos. Hey, when you get nachos, do you do the beef nachos or the chicken nachos?
I usually do beef because you'll find that the chicken is that chicken out of a can or, it's a dry chicken.
Have you ever done crab nachos?
No. Where do you get those?
When I was in Mexico, I had like a crab. It wasn't exactly like you would think.
Crab with a K?
Crab with a C.
Oh, you were in Mexico. It was real crab.
Yeah.
Not the artificial crab meat?
No. But it was quite amazing.
Jesus, who's rolling in the deep end?
Well, it was
at the lobster nachos, chased him with a little.
It was at the beach.
Oh, so you vacation at the beach, dude.
It was a little place right at the beach.
While somebody's dong was swinging by while you were on the beach. Hey, nice wiener.
I don't look for dongs.
Actually, my server was only wearing an apron. I'm ready. I'm ready to go back to the beach for a vacation. I'm ready. The city vacationing is not for me. Although I'm gonna have to go on a power diet here. Is cheese bad? Like, is cheese bad? Because I can go without a lot of things, but man, I like the cheese.
Your smaller trainer,
that whisper. I'm gonna text him today.
Told you on that keto thing just to eat keto. Keto, just to eat cheese.
No, that wasn't him. I went on my own on that one. That was my own thing.
Well, eat cheese.
I do.
I have a friend that's on that diet, and she'll
The keto?
And she looks great. And she'll sit and rip the cheese and the beef and like the meat tray and all that stuff. Just don't throw no rice or carbs in the mix.
What do you do about sushi?
Work. I love sushi. But now that you bring that up, I did recently mention that we should do sushi for dinner one night.
Yeah.
And got called off it by them because of the keto thing.
Bullshit.
I got pulled off it.
You should be able to cheat once a week, right?
Well, I don't know.
Good, I'm going keto.
That's what you're cheating on.
Can you have nachos on the keto?
I have no idea. Don't talk to me about the keto diet because I don't know anything about it.
I can't give up nachos and I can't give up sushi. So if I'm going to be fat the rest of my life, then I'm going to be fat the rest of my life. I don't drink beer. I mean, I'm really a pretty good. I eat well. Like I really, like healthy snacks. I eat my fruits and vegetables, eggs, whatever.
See, that's why I cannot, like every time it's going to Lagos, I always end up at Yumi's.
Yeah.
Because it's, I like
that
Lagos, but I do Yumi.
What do you hear? Laurel.
right.
Lagos.
Right.
Yumi. Lago. Yumi. That's
right.
Legit, man. I'm happy to be back recording live. We're going to get this baby posted. Real quick, Vikings start on Sunday.
Big time.
Dun, 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 dun.
And great the Packers won last night. We need Chicago to lose.
I think I'm more excited about Carrie Underwood singing the Welcome to Sunday Night Football than I am football.
She's something else.
Just kidding. I know I'm more excited because it means more snacks.
Right.
Football's about snacks. The Packer won last night, beat up on the Bear. Go Chicago Bear. We got the Atlanta Falcon. So we're talking noon on Sunday, Viking Falcon. Your prediction?
Vikings 28-17.
28-17, Dave says.
Maybe 24-17.
Well, you can't change it now.
Vikings.
24-17.
Yeah, I just
changed
changed
your final answer?
Yep.
I am going to go with a 21-10. Don't know why. Just going to do that.
Okay.
All right, we've got our prediction. That's really the football segment for today. I got to get old. I got to get old Clownhauser in here and get him talking a little football, a little pigskin.
You do. That's a good idea.
I'm going to text him today. Maybe we'll have him next Thursday.
Yeah, let's do that.
He owes me because I overlooked some of his poor basketball skills and didn't comment on them on the air. Oops, just did.
Yep.
Anyway, we got to wrap this bitch up, man. Everybody,
Alrighty.
Thanks for tuning in. Hey, tell your friends. Give us a good review. Make sure that you download all the back episodes and get caught up. And send a link to a friend. We need to get this thing spreading like wildfire. Dave wants to quit his real job and just live in the world of podcasting, which I get. Anyway, everybody take care. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
That's it. That's the end.
That's a wrap.
Read the shtick.
That's a wrap for today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe and tell all your friends. If you'd like to reach out, you can use the studio line at 612-504-6500 or by email, the DK Project Podcast at gmail.com. And of course, there's always social media at the DK Project Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.